Hey everyone, my name is Jillian and I decided to do the effects of child abuse on growing youth. I don't know if anybody has ever known anybody that was abused as a child. I know a couple people. I know some that are now in their adulthood and they have trauma and they're facing consequences from it every day. So I chose this because I wanted to learn more about it and see if I could possibly find things that might be able to help them and find out more about how it affects people. To start off, I'm going to give the actual definition of child abuse. Many people have their own definition for it, but the term child abuse is a motive involving concepts of child rearing, discipline, and punishment in which every member of society claims some expertise. Jacobs, 1981. So many people obviously believe that they know what child abuse is, they know what they're doing, they know how to raise children, and that is where it gets very hard and complicated when it comes to getting people for child abuse and trying to convict them. There are 5 forms of child abuse. There is physical, mental, emotional, sexual, and neglect. Mental and emotional abuse, or rather psychological abuse, in a way go hand in hand. They're also very hard to identify when you are the one being abused. This form of abuse results in mental injury that harms or threatens a child's welfare or health. It's been found that many of this occurs when a parent gets laid off or is going through a divorce and they are stressed and they take it out on the child and make them feel like they are worthless. Physical abuse is when you are hitting a child, throwing him against the wall, shaking them, anything like that. It is leaving a mark to the eye or leaving a mark inside their body. Physical abuse consists of a child exhibiting the evidence of corporal punishment or other physical disciplinary measure. So, as I said, it can be burning, slapping, throwing. Neglect occurs over a period of time and is like an act of omission. Neglect is failure to act on behalf of a child, according to the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services. Neglect most often leads to mental injury, giving another form of abuse. Lastly, I have sexual abuse, which is the result of sexual stimulation that is not wanted. Children cannot consent for that, so when it happens, it's automatically sexual abuse. There are short-term consequences and there are long-term consequences. As seen on the left, there's a short-term consequence. This baby has a black eye. You don't know if she has anything else. I can't really see on the picture. It looks like she might have something on her chin, on her forehead. Long-term consequences are depression. They have mood swings, withdrawal. A lot of people resort to drugs, alcohol, anything to get them away from how they feel about themselves and to avoid it. There's also actual health problems, including diabetes, lung disease, back problems, high blood pressure, etc., according to the Child Welfare Information Gateway. Physical abuse also is the second most common form of child maltreatment, constituting approximately 17.2% of child maltreatment. This is according to Barnhart, Cage, and Yoon, which is a case that I read. The cycle of violence is also seen like crazy. You see a lot of grandparents who abuse their children who then have their children abuse their children, and the cycle is just continually going on and on and on and not stopping. It's estimated 1 out of 3 of abused and neglected children victimize their own children. So this cycle, it just does not stop. There are roughly 30,000 children a year that are abused, and usually 1 in 4 children are abused in their lifetime. So this means in our group of 8 people, 2 of us would have been abused. That's insane, because you would have never thought that. How can you help? Most abuse goes unnoticed and unreported. A lot of people are scared to report it. The easiest thing you could do is if you see a child with marks or you see someone that it just looks like they are being abused, just tell someone, tell Child Family Services, anybody, try and get that child out of there. You could also foster a child. You could fundraise money, food, or clothing for children and families in need. You could find information on that on Child Family Services, and you could donate your time to Big Brothers Big Sisters. This is an organization where you donate an hour a week and help a child that is not as well off and just try and give them a path to success. What if I don't have time or the mindset to do this? So you could easily take time away from social media, TV, video games, napping, etc. We spend roughly 3 hours a week on social media. That is insane. A lot of us spend a lot more. I know I do. A lot of people think that they won't do anything and it won't help, but imagine giving back to a battered, broken child. It's said if you help someone, you are more likely to feel better about yourself statistically. Many don't believe they're going to make a difference, but anything's going to help an abused child. If they're neglected, any small thing is going to make them feel good. If you're not able to foster, then just help someone. Find a child and talk to them. But if they don't believe raising money will help the children's services, any money will help anybody. And extra clothing for children isn't just laying around, and you can't just afford new ones, but you could always try and donate Goodwill clothes or anything like that. Every child deserves to grow up feeling safe and loved, and I hope this showed you guys some things you didn't know. Thank you for listening.